Good morning, travelers. Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and today is Friday, May 12th. I've been a bit under the weather these past few days, and I'm also a little behind on my work, so that's why I didn't post an open reading on Wednesday. I'm going to try to get back to my regular schedule. For those of you who are waiting on the May individual monthlies, I was not feeling well yesterday at all, so I didn't do any videos, but I will be posting up one or two, maybe three today, but I hope to have them all up over on the website by Monday. So just kind of bear with me if you can. Let's see. If you're interested in a personal reading, you can click on the little the white eye up in the corner there, and that should take you directly over to the website. Or whatever pops up in the right-hand corner there, that will take you directly over to the website. For those of you who may be interested in a reading by phone, there is information that you need to know before you submit payment and book. There's a booking form, so you have to make payment and submit the booking form. So when you get to the website, excuse me, you'll see readings by phone. Hover your mouse over that and a secondary menu will pop out. Right at the top of the secondary menu is a tab called Important Information on Booking. So I ask that you please read that information before you submit payment and before you submit the booking form, because it'll tell you everything that you need to know about how to book a phone reading with me. For those of you who may be interested in private video reading, there's a tab for that. Everything there is explained. I am going to be bringing a new Akashic Records product to you. I'm not exactly sure when, because I'm trying to finish up my syllabus for the courses. I'm hoping to get those up, the recorded modules up for the classes, for the tarot classes, very, very soon. So again, I ask for your patience. For those of you who might want to see the individual monthlies, there's a membership option. There are 3 levels. There's a $7 30-day level. There's a 6-month $28 level, and there's a $50 yearly level. And with those, no matter which one you pick, you get 2 free birth charts. One you create yourself, and then one I create for you. And the one I create for you, we use that in the predictive astrology. There are ebooks, there are other videos, there are articles. So there's a lot of stuff over on the site, more than just access to the monthly videos. So, I mean, you don't want to do 6 months or a year, you can do 30 days. What the hell? So anyway, I'm going to come to you today with an open reading. We're going to be using the Rider-Waite. In a way, it kind of worked out, me not feeling well over the full moon, because it gave me an opportunity for me to clear and clean my cards. Oh, come here. Please don't. Somebody brought me this, if you guys can see that little face. Now, some of you remember my other familiar that I had, the black cat, Mowgli. I had to take him back to the shelter because he was on crack. So he was very difficult. He was a feral cat, and you know, they tried to pawn him off like he was just a regular cat, but he was a feral cat, and we had a lot of problems with him. I miss him terribly. He was really a funny cat. So somebody brought this little kitten over. We're not sure if it's a boy or if it's a girl. It's about 4 weeks old. So this is my new familiar who does not have a name yet. I usually wait about 2 weeks before I name the animal. That way it gives me time to look at the personality and see what kind of fits. So we have the Sibila, the La Vida Sibilas, and we also have the Angel Answer card and the Heart Oracle Tarot. So this is just going to be a general reading, no specific time frame. I usually like to do it for 10 days. So we'll say 10 days, and it's for no specific zodiac sign. As with all open readings, take what you can and disregard what you cannot. I'm going to throw something out. For those of you over in the Facebook group, and if you're interested in joining the Facebook group, you can find the link to it in the About box section, okay? Was it last month and a half ago? I posted up an article, a post about the cover from The Economist Tarot. All the crazy stuff that's been happening over the past 72 hours with the firing of the FBI director. I went back and I read what they're terming as the dodgy dossier. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard of this dossier that's been written by this MI6 guy. And at first when it came out, I just kind of glanced at it. I haven't read it, but I went back last night and I read it, and it reads like a playbook. Now look, the information is out there. Ultimately, you can decide whether or not you choose to believe it or you don't. But if you're kind of just wondering what the hell is going on, read that. I'm going to post that link up in the Facebook group to the dossier. And if you're interested, if you're not, great, you know, that's okay. But if you're interested, I suggest you read it, and read it with objectivity. But if you read it, you will see that it reads like a playbook. Everything that's been occurring since in the past 113, 114 days that the Trump administration has been in the White House. It is absolutely astounding. My jaw was on the floor last night because, like I said, when I first read it, I just kind of glanced over it. Everybody wanted the salacious details. But if you read more down into the document, it reads like a playbook. And what is most interesting is I posted a link to the I don't know, president, dictator, leader of Ukraine. And he is personally, I think, the man at the bottom of the wheel on the Economist tarot cover. At first, we thought it was Geert Wilders. We're looking at the flag, but the Ukraine has the same flag. His name, this guy has resurfaced again in connection with Paul Manafort. Now, I get my news from Rachel Maddow, not simply because I'm a big libertarian person, but I like the way that she puts together her stories. She leads you down this particular path, and she pulls out things that seem to be not connected at all, and then she kind of pulls it into play. I like a good mystery. So I'm going to go back, if you want to, go back and read, if you have time to read that link from Wikipedia on the guy who's the leader of Ukraine, because that is the key. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Cards are flying out everywhere. We're going to do a quick 9-card spread, and then I'm going to take a little break. My daughter is homesick as well. I think she gave me whatever she had. We're rarely ever sick. We've got immune systems like tanks. But I just think it's sometimes, depending when the nodes change, wherever it falls in your house, can bring up slight health issues. Oh, 2 of you have posted up your challenges under the transit watches. I will be answering those. Please just bear with me. I will be answering those for you and taking a look at your charts. I just did not have the energy. And I can't, if my energy levels are not good, then I can't do what I do. So, all right. So 2 cards have come out. We have the 3 of Swords reversed, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, for those of you who've been with me, and by the way, welcome new subscribers, and thank you old subscribers for sticking with me. And most of you know that I do not read reverse cards. For the most part, it's because they don't speak to me. They don't talk to me. For some reason, my brain just doesn't register what is. I know the meaning of the reverse cards, but they just don't talk to me that way. And so I believe that if there is a bad card or a negative card that is coming into the spread, you're going to get it whether it's reversed or not. Okay, the cards are just they're going to do what they do. But I found this to be interesting because this card just flew out of the deck. The Devil. The Moon. Well, the Queen of Swords. The 10 of Swords. The 2 of Wands. The 4 of Cups. And the World card. Oh, wow, this is a weird spread. With the Star card as the overall energy. Now, the tarot deck is divided into 2 distinct groups. We have 22 cards known as the Major Arcana cards. The Major Arcana cards are our cards like the Wheel of Fortune. They have titles, okay? The Devil, the Moon, and then we have the World card. And of course, we also have the Star as our overall energy. The second portion of the deck is comprised of what are known as the pip cards. The pip cards are our numbered cards, like our 3 of Swords, okay? Our 10 of Swords, our Two of Wands, our Four of Cups, but they are also contain, the pip cards also include what are known as our court cards. These are our pages, our knights, our kings, and our queens, okay? Right in the center, and I have in the center, I have this Queen of Swords here. Right in the center is this Queen of Swords. Now, typically the Queen of Swords will represent an air sign individual, which would be a Libra, an Aquarian, or a Gemini. Quite frankly, she does represent the energy of Libra, okay? And we have two Libra cards here. We have the energy of Saturn in Libra. We have Libra, but then we also have Gemini represented here. This card represents the energy of Sun in Gemini, and the Sun is in its detriment in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Okay. The Queen of Swords is known as, quote unquote, traditionally as, well, not traditionally, but historically maybe, as the divorcee card. All right. But she can also be represent in terms of what someone does. She's usually a writer or an editor, has something to do with print or medium. She could be even a movie maker, whatever kind of medium of communication that is out there. But she can also be an attorney, a counselor, a doctor, a dentist, a police officer, a soldier. Why? Somebody who's going to be good with cutting and excising things, okay? Or precision. Now, everything that's going on is going on around this particular queen. In one respect, what the cards are telling me is that this is, for some of you, sometimes I see her show up as a judge. For some of you, this very well could be about a legal issue. Typically, when we have Jupiter in Libra, the Wheel of Fortune represents Jupiter in Libra. What you will see is that there are a large number of people who separate and divorce, but there are also a large number of people who come together. They may shack up, they may get married, but it also, Libra also, it's the house of partnerships. So it also represents business partnerships, mergers, families, you know, the family unit as a social structure, and friendships. And for some of you, I'm picking up that this is a legal issue, and that some of you are like so over wanting this to be done, okay? Whatever this legal issue is. Now, a lot of times what will happen is if you have been in a legal battle or legal conflict with someone, the Jupiter and Libra cycle will say that usually, you know, you kind of get what you want in that you will, sometimes you will, you know, you may not get everything you want, and you may not get it how you want. And even if you don't get, you know, because it's the wheel, it could go either way. But nevertheless, it says that whatever is going on within that legal, it's about to culminate and be done. Why do I say that? Here is the World card, and the World card says you're at the end of a cycle. Now, the Three of Swords reversed is about healing. It is about being at a point where whatever pain you've been experiencing, or sadness, or heartache, or whatever the case may be, it is in itself, you're moving through that. The Wheel of Fortune says that, you know, you may have your good days and you may have your bad days, okay? It also says here with the Devil that some of you have been really limited and restricted by this. And I would, you know, dare say that in one respect, you know, if you've divorcing or you're separating, even if you're in a legal battle and things are very, very tenuous, you've got to wait for that legal decision to come down. And so you kind of maybe feel like your hands are tied. So some days are good and some days are bad. But do know here that the cycle is about to end. Okay, so just try to remain hopeful if you can. I think for some of you, this Scorpio moon that has just passed has kind of given you the opportunity to really dig down deep and to see or to examine what your emotions are, what your feelings are, what your fears are. Hopefully you were able to do that. Scorpio moons are really good to try to move through very deep, complex, conflicted emotions, okay? A lot of things will come up for people around the full moon. And some people, most people tend not to want to take a look at those things. I picked that up from the devil and the moon. So the devil represents Saturn, and Saturn is all about restrictions, confinement, limitations. This could even have to do with somebody being in jail and maybe they're waiting to get out. The legal system grinds, the wheels of justice turn very, 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 very slowly. For others of you, this could be some issue where you might be dealing with someone in whatever capacity who doesn't want to let go. They're being a real pain in the butt, and your fears are coming up that you're not going to be able to get away from that person, or you're not going to be able to get yourself out of that situation. But you need to recognize that Saturn's a real bastard, and he can, put a real down on you. But if you can figure out how to deal with that Saturnian energy, because Saturn is never a no. Saturn is simply a not yet. So if you are in a situation where you feel limited, restricted, man, I can't get out of this. I don't know when this is I don't know how much longer I can take it. Please take a look at, first of all, the way that you're thinking. We have the swords here. And some of you could really be feeling sorry for yourself. You're at rock bottom. You're like, man, I cannot do this anymore. Well, this is the darkest before the dawn. Okay. So in other words, think of these 10 swords as, man, all of the bad shit that happened to me, really, I'm done. I don't have the energy. I can't think about it. I can't talk about it. I can't do anything. And it feels like an overkill. Man, one more thing. I can't take one more thing. Where there's an old saying, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So just know that it's going to be the way that you think about the situation, because the swords represent thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communications. So even if there have been ugly words passed, or you're getting maybe somebody wants to sue you, and every time you turn around, you're getting some stinking letter from them. Okay. You can either choose, if you have legal counsel, let your legal counsel deal with it. That's what you're paying them for. Sometimes you have to give things to people that are theirs, okay, so that you can only deal with what's yours. But at the same time, the most important communication you're going to have is the communication with yourself. And I have seen the Sun in Gemini, the Ten of Swords, come up when you may react in a certain way, perhaps out of fear, and you end up making the situation worse. Case in point, the firing of director Jim Comey. Those of you who've been keeping up and watching that foolishness, okay? So sometimes out of fear, people will react and do things thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna hedge my bets, or I'm gonna jump ahead of this, and then they end up making the situation worse, okay? So this is saying, if that is the case and that's what you have done, then know to back off, step away from that. You do have a choice on how you want to move through this, okay? And the devil could be coming in saying that, you're real tempted to just go ahead and continue on in the same vein that you're going in, but don't. Okay, don't. It would behoove you to just kind of take the space, look at where you're coming from. Why are you so aggravated? Why is a person so vexing to you? Or if you feel stuck, what can I do at this? If you can't really change the situation, then you need to figure out a way to change the way you think about the situation. Okay. And usually this is about looking at what's coming up for you during this time frame. And what are my fears? What are my hopes? What are my desires? Okay. Now, for some of you, this could be about property issues. The devil represents the physical plane. He's not just about sex and or restraints. Sometimes it is, maybe if this is a divorce, you're trying to hang on to things, and they're things. So Is that a prison that you're creating for yourself? Have you created that particular prison for yourself? Okay. And are those things really that important to you that you would be willing to just stick it out and fight? Some people are like that. They'll fight to the bitter end. So that's the way some people are. But at the same time, those are the same people that are always grousing about, why shit hasn't changed for them. So you're going to have to, I think the cards are trying to say, sometimes you have to just take what you got and then go away. For others of you, to me, this is an offer that's coming to you. But there's something about the offer that either you don't like, or it's not good enough, or you're not exactly sure if you can trust it. Okay? And this, again, may have come up around the moon. The three most interesting cards to me are the Devil, the Moon, and the World card. These are three completely different energies. I want you to look at this. Okay? This is a Saturn card, but that's also a Saturn card. Okay? But look at the difference in energy. Okay? And so this is either you being captive to your own desires and your own fears and your own stuff that you own, money, property. Maybe this is about addictions that you have. If this is about some kind of karmic type of relationship that you feel you can't get away from, well, we know Saturn represents fear, and it also represents control. So here is the Moon card that says that's the stuff that's coming up for you. Okay, you need to take a look at why that is, because in truth, if you can work that out, you can actually liberate yourself. Okay, so I'm afraid of that. But what is fear? Fear is just that. It's a fear. It's not based in reality. That's what the Moon and the Devil say. It's not based in reality. Okay, it may seem like it's a reality, but it's really not a reality. And so if you're wondering, well, how am I going to do this, or how am I going to do that if this happens? Well, how are you? Have you really made a plan, or are you just worried about it? Have you really given any thought? And so that's what I mean about working with the Saturnian energy. When you feel stuck, sit down and work through the fear and try to put a realistic plan into place. And if you can perfect that, when the time comes, you will be able to end that cycle. Now, the World card, you see the person is in a wreath, okay? And so this means that you are protected in this. There is a spiritual protection in this. And so if you can get yourself balanced, if you can focus your mind and your attention, if you can not listen so much to your ego, if you can not listen so much to other people trying to insert their, sometimes people mean well. You ask them for advice and they mean well, but sometimes they just make the damn situation worse. Then maybe this is telling you to keep your own counsel, okay? Because ultimately you have to do what's best for you. And nobody else has to like it. Nobody else has to understand it. And as long as you're not doing something that is going to intentionally, maliciously harm someone, okay? I did a reading for somebody the other day. She's like, this person, I have to fire them, but it's going to create karma. And I was like, no, it's not. Karma is based upon your choices, okay? If he has to be fired because he's not the person for the job, he doesn't have the skill set, there's personality conflicts, and you have to get rid of him, that's not karma, okay? What is karma is keeping someone around because you're afraid that firing them is going to hurt their feelings or whatever. That's karma. And the reason why that is karma, keeping that person around when you know they need to go, is because you're making a choice to keep them, which goes against what you know is the best thing, which is for them to get the hell on. Okay? So do not assume that because you have to make decisions that may not please another person, or they may not even agree with, that's going to bring bad karma to you. It doesn't work like that. Why? Because ultimately that person has their own karma. Okay? And typically, if that person has a conflict or they're just a shitty employee, okay, that's on them. Really, they've got to figure out how to up their game. And then there's just some people that you're not going to get along with. Simple. It ends in the Star card. And the Star card is, what's interesting is that because this represents Libra, Libra is ruled by Venus. And the Aquarius card here, and look, I also think this has to do with the nodes of the moon changing. Let me show you something. This is about a change. That's what the wheel does. The wheel changes things for you, okay? And we know that the nodes of the moon have just changed. Here's the story. This is our Aquarian card, but it also represents Venus, okay? Venus is the evening, no, she's the morning star. Venus is about, she is about love, harmony, justice, beauty, fairness, art, you know, romance, those types of things. But she's also asked you to take a look at what your values are surrounding those things, because she rules the house of Taurus, okay? So Venus co-rules two signs. It co-rules Taurus, the second house, and Libra, the seventh house of partnership. So this is about mine and ours, okay? How do I take my values, the things that I hold dear to myself, what's true for me, stick to those, and then go into partnership with someone, okay? And then how do we balance those things out? Am I getting exactly what, you know, am I getting a fair shake on this, or am I getting the short end of the stick? Am I taking more than I'm giving, and the person that I'm in partnership with is getting the short end of the stick, and that's why they want to divorce me, or that's why they're suing me? Okay. Have I been greedy and selfish and petty? Well, if that's the case, it could be why the person's either suing you or divorcing you or leaving you. Okay. It's about taking a look at ourselves and not looking at what the other person has done, because sometimes we do things and then people react to what we do or what we say. Vice versa, it works both ways. So it's about being able to show yourself as you truly are, accept yourself as you truly are, and to keep your own cups filled. When you can stay grounded within yourself, what your hopes, your wishes, your desires are, what you know to be true for yourself, and say, you know, this is who I am. Not this is who I am, accept me the way I am, or don't. Okay, in one respect, yes, that's true. But if you're coming from a place of negativity and, you know, manipulation and control and fear and jealousy and all of that crap, then that's not right. Because jealousy stems out of fear. Okay, it's a fear. It's an insecurity. It's a fear. And that's not to say that people don't get jealous. People do get jealous. Some people get jealous in relationships about love. Some people get jealous that their neighbors got a better car or a bigger boat. Some people are jealous because somebody got the promotion and the bigger office. Some people are jealous because their neighbors' kids are really great and their kids stink. You know, jealousy can show up in many, many different ways. And so if jealousy has been a part of what has been happening, you're being asked to take a look at that. And when you can build your own security, hear what the star says, then then you're okay with that. Well, whatever, you know. So let's take a look. I want to take a look. I do feel that for some of you, because I'm doing it, this is a general reading, so it's not going to play out the same for everybody. Everybody's got different factors, different people, different situations. I do feel for some of you, you will not be getting the news. Saturn's going to tell you, no, you don't get what you want. But if you kind of look at it, it's really going to be your liberation. Okay? That's your freedom. And you got to accept, hey, can't get what I want. Sometimes what we want is not what's best for us. Okay? And so the universe knows this. And it's up to us to just kind of accept that. Easier said than done. I completely understand. For others of you, I think that you will get what you want. I think some of you are going to have a choice between two options. Which one is the best one? I can't help you with that in a general reading. That's why we have the one offer here that we're not certain about. I have two options. I have two options. For some of you, this could be about two people. Maybe you have a choice between two people. Now, whether this is in a romantic relationship or whether this is with a business partnership, maybe you're having to choose between two siblings. Maybe you're having to choose between one parent is very, very ill. The other parent really doesn't have the ability or the capacity to take care of that ill parent. So what do I do? This could play out in lots of ways. I also think that for some of you, this is about releasing an old relationship, some old thing that you're hanging on. And it is a karmic cycle. We have the Wheel of Fortune with the devil here. And Jupiter with Saturn. And Saturn, Jupiter is all about growth and expansion and travel in the mind, religion, philosophy, higher education. And then here's Saturn. And Saturn's like, wait a minute, you can't be moving that fast. You can't expand that big. Why? You got more work to do. There could be something that you don't see about the situation yet. Okay? And that if you move ahead, that's what awaits you. So, but at the same time, sometimes that's, like I said, sometimes we don't get what we want. And whatever you may never know the reason why you didn't get what you want, And in the grand scheme of things, well, am I going to spend time stuck in obsessing about why I didn't get what I want? Or can I say, okay, that crap sucked. I didn't get what I wanted. Maybe that answer will be revealed to me later. But you know what? I have a choice. The other choice is I can just accept whatever and keep it moving. Okay? You always have a choice. And I do feel for many of you, it's going to come down to the way you think about this. Some of you have been stuck in a particular energy. And the cards are saying it's time to move on now. Okay? Yeah. See what just fell out? There's that Saturn energy. It's the dispiacere, the worry, the anxiety, the tears. I'm going to put that back in. She just fell out. And you can decide to spend your summer being all worried and fearful. Or you can decide to become proactive and to do something to move yourself, even if it's just 2 steps, Nobody's saying take great leaps and bounds. I don't think you're going to be able to. There's work to be done in whatever manner that means for you. So I want to look at this 3 of Swords first. Interesting. I'm just going to tell you the 3 cards because I'm not picking up on really what they're trying to tell me. What I have is the Namaste female, the shy lover, the woman who does not speak her feelings. Same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the female. Then I have the Il Nemico. So this tells me that this is a relationship where the people are inimical to each other. Not necessarily that they're really enemies, but maybe the person ran away. Okay, maybe they ran away. But then here is the Domestico. Now this is interesting to me because the Domestico is the collaborator. Maybe some of you done got caught out in having a relationship, an affair. A lot of times, and I'm looking at these 3s. There's a 3 swords. There's a 2 people and the devil. There's a 2 dogs and the crustacean. Here's the 3 cups. Okay. Sometimes the cards will do that. Here's the 2 options. And so sometimes the cards will do that. They will speak to me about a situation, but they will couch it in a certain way. So it could be about that, okay? Somebody that you can't quite trust what they've done. But this also speaks to a message. That's what swords are, okay? Communications, remember? But then sometimes this could be about the man returning. And maybe this is the fact that the person hasn't returned, but if that's the case, you're in a position now to heal from that. See, the three swords are dropping out of the heart, okay? The heart's turned upside down, and the swords are falling out now. So to me, that's always an indication of either a healing, and sometimes it can be an indication of a reconciliation or return. I'm not telling you that that person is going to come back, or that if they do come back, they're going to be there to stay. Why? He's the domestico. And again, you know, to get more clarity on your particular situation requires a personal reading. This is a tough spread. It's not a bad spread, but it's a tough spread. I want to take a look at the Ten of Swords. And then I'm going to look at the Four of Cups at the base. Because this line is quite interesting to me. You see, she, in a sense, has she's come to a sense of truth for herself, and she's asking for it. And the truth, maybe you now see that, okay, the situation's not going to change. But then the Wheel of Fortune says that, you know what, something could suddenly come up. But you're being asked to, I think, weigh that up carefully. Now, a lot of times people say, well, this card's about boredom and this. That can be true. But sometimes it also can be about having the wisdom to kind of wait things out. Sometimes all the glitters is not gold. And I'm looking at the Devil and the Ten of Swords here. So let's look at this Ten of Swords. See, and look, it's so strange. She is like the light of truth. There's the truth in between these two dark cards. But we also know that this is darkest before the dawn. And she's in, whatever it is, she's inviting, she's inviting that in. So let's take a look at this Ten of Swords here. Oh, this is interesting. We have a card of pleasant conversations on top of this. Maybe this is just about waiting. You see, she's waiting. Maybe. We do have these Saturn cards here. There's the conversation. This is pleasant conversations. This could also be a card of negotiations. We have the Donna Maritata. Respect for a married woman. Okay, remember, it could be, you know, like I said, this could be about an affair. This could be a divorce, a separation. This is also just a card of someone who is in a nurturing capacity. And then we have the L'Amica, the relationship of trust, the confidant. Now, falling on this, you know, this is, I don't know if this tells me that this is the end of the relationship, or if this is the darkest. These are three positive cards on top of this really ugly negative. Well, I guess we can look at it like whatever these three cards are saying, because I'm really having a difficult time bringing these up. I don't know if maybe it's someone trying to decide if this is a person they want to marry, or if it's somebody they just want to be friends with. Either way, these cards are positive. So there's something positive about that, these three cards. But this Ten of Swords is like, I don't know. Maybe this is about, you know what? I'm sick of trying to offer my friendship and be nice to somebody, so I'm going to take that shit and move it on. You know? And if that's the case, then hey, what I'm saying, you have an opportunity to move through this. So three weird cards. Okay, now we're going to look at this Four of Cups. Now, sometimes some of you, I don't know if there's travel or maybe if you're dealing with somebody foreign. And when I mean foreign, I don't necessarily mean someone who is from a different country. Foreign could just be somebody that you don't really understand that well. Okay. You just don't get that person. Yeah. They could be foreign because their religious or philosophical beliefs are different. Maybe your political beliefs are different. Maybe your general outlook on life is different. Maybe you were raised up a particular way in your household and this person was raised up in a completely different way. That's still a way of life that's kind of foreign to you. I don't understand how that dynamic works in your family. So it could be something like that. It could also, again, be literally that the person is from a foreign culture or a country. World travel, expansion, travel at a distance, long distance travel in the mind. And that theme is repeated, this circular thing. And there he's holding the world in his hands. Okay. All right, let's pull cards on this Four of Cups. And then we're going to pull an angel answer card and then a heart oracle tarot. I'm going to place this down. It kind of reads like whatever this period of waiting, and there is this sense of waiting here. And that was the first thing that I picked up on, is that, some of you are waiting on, I don't know what you're waiting for. Some of you are waiting on something, and maybe that's the problem. You don't really know what you're waiting for. Melancholia, leggerezza, ammalato, depression, irritability, tact, just being out of sorts. Some of this could be maybe sexual frustration. We have the devil here, okay, because this card is sometimes about sex. And then we have the ammalato, the sick person. And to me, these three ugly cards coming out on this rather ambivalent kind of card, because sometimes the cups are not always just about love, they're about emotions. But the tree there, the person sitting next to the tree, to me, that's a sign of some kind of spiritual discontent. I'm just not happy with what I've got going on, okay? And I think in one respect you're being given an opportunity. The universe is doing things or showing you things that are perhaps giving you signs and synchronicities, perhaps trying to point you in the right direction, and maybe you're just not ready to make that move yet. But you can, again, one step or two step. And maybe that what those cards are saying, those three cards that have come out, the conversation, the Donna Maritata, and the L'Amica, could, in a sense, that's why I think now maybe that the Queen is there, that there's somebody in your midst who can help you. There's somebody that you can, and maybe you guys had a falling out. I don't know. And it doesn't always necessarily have to be a female, so to speak. As I said, same sex or heterosexual, whomever is going to take the female. I think there is somebody, perhaps maybe that you had contact with the three cards that came out first. Maybe that went wrong. It went sideways for some reason. But it's like the signs and the synchronicities and the things that are occurring are telling you, or they're trying to show you, that that person can help you through whatever this spiritual discontent is. Okay? That's really the message that I'm getting. So, and sometimes we just are. Things happen. Things pile up. Just life in general. And we kind of lose our way. And what happens is we've been used to operating from a particular place for so long, and now we're being shown that it's time for us to move. Well, we're comfortable where we are, but at the same, because we know it. But we also know that where we are now just isn't working for us anymore. And so now we're being given an opportunity to move to a new place. That is what the major arcana represent. They represent a spiritual evolutionary jump and a growth. Your soul is trying to take you to another level. You have spent enough time in that devil energy on that physical plane, and the soul is saying, hey, look, it's time for us to get up and move now. We've got to go to another level. Okay, we've got to have new experiences, new people. And in order to do that, we've got to change things. We've got to be open to. But the devil can also be the fear of that. Okay, change is always scary. All right, so form a question in your mind. And I'm going to pull one angel answer card. And we will see what that has to say. Maybe this will give you an answer, will point you in the direction, or give you some solace if that is what you need. One card. Communicate clearly. This card came up, I don't know, last week? I don't know. Communicate clearly. In one respect, I'm picking up just from the card itself, either you haven't, there's somebody, I keep getting the sense that there's somebody around you who can help you, who might have, can help you because their view, that's that foreign thing, their view is different from your view. It's a different point of view. They're going to be able to see things that you can't see, and vice versa. Okay. And so the message I'm getting is to, of course it's your choice, to reach out to that person and talk to them. I think it would benefit you tremendously. But also to pay attention to whatever signs and synchronicities and messages that you're being shown. It is not an accident, and you are not losing your mind. And the harder and the longer you try to deny whatever it is that you're seeing, that you're experiencing, the worse it's going to become for you. Okay? I'm going to read you the meaning of that card, but that's what I'm picking up just looking at the card. One angel answer card. You are not crazy. Let me put it that way. Okay? It's funny how the universe works like that. It really is. You might be seeing a series of numbers. You might be seeing a person's name. You might be hearing a song. You might be seeing initials. It can manifest in any way. Dreams. You're having imaginary conversations with the person as if they are really there, in which case that's some kind of psychic link that you have. You're not crazy. You're not. Sometimes it may come on full-fledged. Sometimes it may go away, and then suddenly you're back where you'll go 2 or 3 weeks, and then suddenly it starts all over again. Okay? Cyclical. Wheel of Fortune, the World card. It's cyclical. That's how it works. The universe is trying to, okay, I tried it this way. I'm all right. I'm going to give you a break because you're trying to ignore me. Here, let me bring it up again. Okay? You're being alerted that there's a change coming. And it's trying to point you in that direction. Now look at that. There's the Four of Wands, joy and stability. I got these cards for another reading. Sometime I remember them. I don't know if they came up in the same reading. Let's go first to the Communicate Clearly card. Okay. This went over way longer than I wanted, but it's okay. Okay, communicate clearly. This situation requires very precise and careful communication. Don't assume that others involved understand what you want or need from them. Remember I was talking about that foreign concept? Sometimes we do that. We expect people to automatically know what the hell we're thinking and what we want. But, I don't know. I'm a psychic, but I ain't no damn mind reader. Okay? In-person discussions are preferable. But if that's not possible, make sure that your communication method is very thorough. This card can indicate that there has been a miscommunication that is creating a challenge for the parties involved. By clearing up any misunderstandings, you can heal the situation so that everyone can start moving forward again. In other words, you could just simply be afraid to reach out to that person because no matter, if it went sideways, you're not exactly sure how that person, first, maybe if they'll even welcome having a conversation with you. And second of all, are we going to be able to, will it repeat or will it, but it's going to require first that you clear up that situation. And then you're going to have to, both whomever the parties are going to have to be a bit more open about the wants and the needs of what you're thinking. You can have a psychic link with somebody and feel what they're feeling. You may can even hear their thought. They don't necessarily make you no damn mind reader. Okay. Joy and stability. Funny. These cards are funny sometimes. They really are. The keywords are happiness, celebration, sharing, and renewal. Like a beautiful summer day, this card brings joyful energy. Take a break and step back just for now from any concerns you may have around matters of the heart and spend some time in happy pursuits. Right, like I was saying, you have an option. You can either sit around and mope and whine and feel sorry for yourself, or you can use this time of Saturnian energy to work on a plan. How am I going to, okay? Find reasons to celebrate with others. Welcome this warm, sunny energy into your life. Allow it to lift your spirits. That could simply be the person that you want to talk to. That person can really lift your spirits. And you can't put a price tag on that sometimes. Remember the law of attraction, and a high rate of vibration will attract all that you desire. Rejuvenate your relationships by renewing yourself. This card also speaks of a time of sharing and conversation. Lovingly open your heart and mind to people. Share your thoughts, and above all, be a good listener. Feel the ebb and flow of energy as you communicate with others. You'll find that this brings increased stability and warmth to your relationships, helping you attract like-minded people into your life. That's what I have for you. I hope those messages helped some of you. Again, if you are interested in a reading, just click on the eye there. It'll take you to the website, or you can go find all of the links to all of the places where I'm located in the About Box section. Until next time, namaste.